So you mentioned there's a bunch of drugs and partying and drinking and sex.
Oh, a whole lot of that. A whole lot of that. It has a smell. And then it wasn't even that smell. It was that smell mixed with weed. And all parties are just to get females drunk and to have sex with them. And for me, I don't smoke, drink, or twerk. So it was like, it was literally like, I'm going, like, why am I at this party right now?
What's up, y'all? I'm Nay, and this is Revived Warfare. This is a platform where we learn the art of war in every area of life. Today, I'm so excited because I have my daughter joining me, and we're going to talk about her first year experience in college. So, introducing Zamaya Reese. Say hi to the people.
How are y'all? I'm good.
Okay, so your first year in college. I know you couldn't wait to leave.
Definitely couldn't.
She couldn't wait to leave us. And I think she loves us again and she's happy to be home.
I am.
Okay, so tell us, first give us the good.
Okay, so
what did you learn? Yeah.
Okay, so the good, I feel like it's just a lot of different people that you meet, which is good because I feel like when I was in high school, especially, like my high school was really small compared to other schools. So you kind of just see the same people every day. The same people are just like artists, people who work out, just the same people. But going to college was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize the country that someone can come from really shapes like how they are and how they act towards like different things, which is good because you understand that every person that you approach, you have to approach that person differently, dependent on the person. Mm-hmm. Or it also makes you aware of, like, let's say, even when you're walking or when you're in a store, if that person's super close to you and you're like, that makes me uncomfortable, maybe that they're used to that in their country or wherever they're from. So
because there was a lot of people from
there's a lot of people from India, a lot of people just from Europe, China, just different places in America. But it helps you really learn other cultures. Yeah. Another good, I'd say, probably.
Well, you got closer to the Lord.
I definitely did get closer to the Lord. I would say, I feel like the experience, I would say, was a bad experience in a way. Really? Of like, kind of like what made me get there. Okay. But the good was like realizing that experience, realizing, okay, I need to get closer to God. And
so do you want to talk about what made you get closer to God?
Yes. Okay. So with me being in college, I was constantly around people who would smoke and drink because that's just kind of how college is. That's just how people are. Yeah. But, you're just constantly around that. I've personally never smoked or drunk, but it's just a lot of temptations around that too. And I just started to fall off and like when I say fall off, like not read my Bible, not pray, which was like something that was really new. Like for me, I used to pray every single day. Like ever since I was a kid, I would pray every single day. So like when I was in college, I just kind of started to act not like myself. And like I would like cuss and stuff. And it was just like, that's not me. Like it was just weird. Like it was just like, this isn't who I am as a person. But it was just kind of because of the people that I was surrounded with. And in some cases, I couldn't really control the people that I was surrounded with. But that experience kind of made me just be like, no, this isn't me. This isn't Zamaya. Like, and I was like, this is like not, it wasn't even fun. None of it was entertaining to me. And I was like living this life because when I was younger, like I would say 16, and I was serious about God, it was just a much better life. It just felt so much freer than to live what I was living. So I was like, you know what? Like I'm tired of like living in this dark, whatever I'm living in. So that's when I chose to get closer to God.
Yeah.
And
so because you started, she would be reading the Bible and sending me scriptures. Yeah. And your friend, like, so she has a friend that they would just read the Bible together and go to church together. Yeah. And like there was a total shift for me from high school and then this like you were more, to me, it seemed like you had more of a hunger.
Yeah.
And you just wanted to learn more.
I think that a lot of people, they want to become Christians, or a lot of people, like, they are lukewarm Christians,
Yeah.
but they don't read the Bible. And I feel like reading the Bible is so important because, like, you don't understand how blunt the Bible is until you read it. So
Yeah.
when I was reading it, I was like, oh my gosh, like, God is really, like,
What was
really
that
getting
book
on me.
that you sent me? Was like, yo, he eating people up in this book.
Ephesians, Ephesians, literally the whole book of Ephesians. It's not like every single chapter. It's not a specific chapter. The whole book, like, yeah.
Okay, so tell me, because here we woke you up for school. If you didn't get up, we fussed at you.
Yeah.
How was it different not having mom and dad there?
It was very different. As far as like the waking me up for school and stuff, it was like it was weird because it's like when you're in high school and middle school and elementary, you have a set schedule. Every day is the same. But in college, you don't. Every day is not the same. You have different classes on different days, and having to wake yourself up, but also knowing that, I don't have to go and nothing's gonna happen except for your grade might drop a little bit. It's like, it's super tempting, but it's also like, no, I need to go because I need to pass my classes. But I'd say that's like the biggest thing, kind of like you don't have anyone to keep you accountable but yourself.
Yeah.
So like having to learn that, you have to learn that real quick. So having to learn that was a little difficult. But I mean, I picked it up.
Yeah.
But
and you did develop a schedule with even going to the gym.
Yeah,
so
I did.
So you would be in the gym.
Yeah.
I think you do that at night.
Mm-hmm. I did it twice a day. So at first it was just at night, but then I started doing it at 2:00 because my classes were directly after that. Mm-hmm. So I would go at 2 and then go at night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned there's a bunch of drugs and partying and drinking and sex.
Oh, a whole lot of that. A whole lot of that. Yes, a whole lot of that.
Even to the point when we picked you up, we saw something in the trash can.
Yeah.
And I'll actually enter that video because my husband was like, whose trash can is this?
Yeah.
You want to come in?
It's $15. It's $15.
I'm charging you $15 for it.
This looks...
So this is used condom and everything in there.
I was mad. She like left a lot of stuff.
You should tell her.
It was nasty.
So, like, what was your dorm room life like?
Hated it. I hated it. I think that for me personally, there's just, I don't know, I guess when you and another person just have two completely different personalities, and I mean very, very, very different personalities, it sometimes clashes and it doesn't work, especially if the other person doesn't respect you and your boundaries. So it's like living in a dorm and that person's like right next to you. Like, it's not like you can just go in your own rooms. It's like that person's right next to you and you just have to deal with that every single day. Like, I did not like it at all.
So were they quiet in the morning?
No, loud, extremely loud. I mean, I'm talking about loud. I'm like, imagine you're trying to sleep. And it's like literally the minute they wake up, they turn on all the lights, put on like blast music. Mind you, it's like, I don't listen to rap. And it's like trashy rap, like really trashy rap. And I'm like, what? Like, why? Like at 7 a.m? Like, I don't understand. Like, how do you wake up and do this?
How are you functioning?
And it would go like that, and it would just last like that throughout the day. Just not even the music, just the person being loud themselves, and like bringing in other people who are very, very loud into the dorm.
Yeah.
And it's like, like just calm down.
Now, see, I like the fact that you had somebody to be with you on campus day in and day out, but it was like a revolving door of people or just guys?
I'd say people.
I
would just say just people, because it was a lot of guys, but it also was a lot of females too.
Dang.
So it was never just like one more than the other. Like maybe a few more guys more than the females, but it was always just people coming in.
So how did you just stay away from the room until it was time to sleep? Like, how did you deal with that?
Sometimes it was kind of like, sometimes when I just realized like, oh, another guy's gonna come in, I just walked out because I didn't really want to deal with it. But other times where I'm like, oh, I'm bored, like I really don't feel like going anywhere else, I just stay in the room. And there would be like times, okay, because I did not want her having sex like while I'm in the room. That's nasty. Yeah. So we would have this code word. So when she would tell me the word, I just walk out the room. So sometimes when she would say the word, I just wouldn't leave because I'm like, I don't feel like leaving the room right now. Yeah. Like, you're not gonna keep doing this. Go somewhere else. So yeah, I would just stay in the room, and I guess that was her cue. Like I'm not.
Like I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't do it while you were there?
I don't think so. I would typically fall asleep. So I wouldn't really know.
Did. That's nasty.
Yeah.
Dang. See, I went to campus, but I never stayed. I mean, I went to college, but I never stayed on campus. I was already grown and a mama, so I didn't get to experience this.
Okay, I'm back. And mind you, when you have sex, for certain people, I don't know if this is everybody, it has a smell. So smelling that, it's just like, and then it wasn't even that smell. It was that smell mixed with weed and who knows what, and it's like, it's just really strong.
So I want to know about the drugs and the alcohol and the parties, because I know that you did go to a few.
Mm-hmm. So the drugs, weed has a very strong smell. So
they know that. They know that.
Yeah, but it's like I didn't realize how strong it was. So
you were so covered.
Yeah.
We shielded y'all so much.
Yeah. But one thing I realized, I'm sure you guys probably know, but for women tend to, it's easier for women to buy drugs because if there's a man that's working and you're like flirting with that guy, they'll give you drugs for free, and then they don't care about like your age, they'll just sell it to you.
Wow.
So that's mostly how my roommate and her friends got the drugs that they got, because there was a place that was right down the street. And I also knew someone who basically, what he told me is that he went there to buy some weed, and then they were like, oh, are you 21? And he goes, no, I'm 18. He goes, but we can't sell to you if you're not 21. And he's like, so are you 21? And then he goes, yeah, I'm 21. And then he gives him the drugs. So
is it like, because I'm so lost on this, but is it like a legal place? Because I know that it's legal, but is it legal in Texas?
It's legal in Texas, but you can't sell weed, but they sell that. But that is what police
so in
don't
one
know.
of those stores?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow.
But they don't just sell it out yeah. But you're not supposed to sell to people under 21. So if that person basically says, "Oh, I'm 21,"
I'm 21. They're like ring checking them.
Yeah, they'll sell it. So, but for the girls, since they're girls, they didn't even care to begin with. It was just like, "Oh, we're gonna flirt."
Yeah. We want the attention.
Yeah, and as far as parties go, one thing I really realized, all parties is for frat parties specifically, some frat parties, all parties are just to get females drunk and to have sex with them. And for clubs, it's just to, I guess, get a female to twerk on you. And for me, I don't smoke, drink, or twerk. So it was like, it was literally like, I'm going, like, why am I at this party right now? So yeah, I would go to parties and like men would come up to me. They'd be like, oh, do you want something to drink? And I'm like, no, I don't drink. And they're like, oh, so you're just here sober? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, like I don't drink or smoke.
Or twerk.
Yeah, or twerk. So it was just like, it was weird. But I guess it also brought attention to me in a way, because a lot of people would come up to me, and like even some of the people after the parties, they'd be like, you're kind of different. And I'm like, what? And they're like, you don't act like a city girl. I'm like, I don't know what acting like a city girl means, but I guess.
So were you ever tempted to twerk? I'm curious.
No.
You weren't tempted?
I wasn't tempted, only because I'm like, I don't know how, and I don't want to go in the middle of this circle and embarrass myself. So wasn't doing that at all.
I'm not twerking.
I was like,
I don't know how to twerk.
Yeah, I was like, that's cool. I was like, that's really cool that your body can like move like that. But I was like, mine can't.
Dude.
Hi, dude.
What are you doing? We're recording, dude. Go play. No, dude.
He want attention.
Okay, so did you see a lot of people, I guess I don't know how to phrase the question, but with like alcohol poisoning, or how does that work?
I only saw, only saw two people with alcohol poisoning. The first person, she had a whole bottle of Hennessy, and I guess she didn't know her limit, so she was at the party and she literally drank the whole bottle of Hennessy, and she just like blacked out, like she just like fell on the ground, and everybody was trying to like get her outside and everything, but clearly she like wasn't waking up. And the second person
So did she wake up eventually? Was she okay?
I don't know. I really don't know.
So you didn't know her? She was just at
I
the
didn't know
party.
her. She was just at the party. She drank that whole bottle of Hennessy.
Wow.
And the second person was my roommate, and she got alcohol poisoning a lot. She was on shrooms, so she had a lot of injuries because when you're on that stuff, you can't fully, I guess, I don't know, I've never been on it, but from my experience with her, she couldn't fully control her body with that. So she would like hit her head on certain things and would have to go to the hospital because of how bad she would like, how hard she would hit her head and like fall down the stairs and stuff.
What?
Yeah.
Fall down the stairs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell them about the guy. Like we prepped our children. Like one thing I've always told you was do not drink anything that somebody offers you, and do not leave your drink unattended. Mm-hmm. Do not. Tell them about the guy that offered you a drink and said something about putting something in it.
The Kool-Aid?
I don't know. I guess.
I know. One guy offered me some Kool-Aid. He was like, "Oh, do you want some Kool-Aid?" And I was like, "No, I'm good."
He said he made it.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I made it though." I was like, "Yeah, no, you can keep it. You and your Kool-Aid, you can drink it." And he like drunk it. I was like, "Oh, look, it's fine." I was like, "No, I'm okay."
No, he said something like, "I ain't gonna put nothing in it."
No, yeah, that was after I was like,
okay.
that's after I was like, I don't know, you could have poisoned her or something. He was like, "No, I wouldn't do that," or something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. We ain't, keep your Kool-Aid.
I was like, you can keep all of it. Yeah, because my mom asked me one time, she's like, so, what did you say? Something about me, like, drinking something at the party. Because you had asked me, he's like, so, like, what did you have your cup with you when you were, like, drinking something? Yeah, I forgot. You basically were asking me, like, something about, like, if I had drunk anything at the party. And I was like, no, I don't drink when I go to nobody's parties. Yeah. I don't drink nothing. I don't care if it's water. I don't care if it's a Capri Sun. I don't care if it's packaged. I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Y'all could have sealed it back up.
I will say there was one time that I had drunk something at the party, and that was the very first party I went to, and it was because it was really, really, really hot in the party, like really hot. So there was an outside part, and there was a grill, and they were like hiding sodas under the grill. So I went and like got a can, and I like read all the ingredients to make sure it wasn't alcohol, and then I drunk it.
He said, "You ain't gonna get me."
Yeah.
I'm reading. All right, so what you want to tell me?
I think I've had a secondhand high before. I think I have, because when you're at a party, you know, like all that, especially when it's inside of a building, all of that weed and stuff is just there. And one time I was there and I was like, I don't feel like myself. I was like, I feel so weird. Like I could still think and comprehend and still be me. But I was like, I feel so weird. I was like, why do I feel weird?
Wow.
And then, after that, because I only went to like 3 parties. I didn't go to a lot. So, after that.
Now, I do want to say this. I don't want anyone to think that we condone partying and all of that, because me and my husband, we do not. However, we know that, like, we can't live their lives for them. We can't make their decisions for our children. We have to teach them the word of God, and then they have to go out and live it. Like, she decided she wanted to go to a party. Like, that's between you and God.
Yeah.
And like her relationship with God is between her and God. It's her responsibility. God doesn't have any grandchildren, but I like the fact that she feels free enough to talk to us about it.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't have to hide it. Mm-hmm. You know.
Because I will say like when I came to college, because when you're raised in like just constantly going to church and stuff. Sometimes, I mean, it's different for different people, but sometimes it's kind of like, oh, I want to experience something outside of that. So when I got to college, it was like, oh, here's just absolutely everything, and you can experience everything. So that's what I did, but then it was just kind of like, it made sense on why my parents was sheltering me from a lot of stuff. So, it was just like, no, this isn't it. Like,
tell them about when you said, because I'm going to give the reason why I'm asking the question. We did not allow our children to stay the night over people's house. We did one time, and that was with, you remember? Mm-hmm. Yeah, which was nothing happened. But we didn't allow our children to stay the night over people's houses, except my mom. And we just, regarded who they were around. And you had an experience where you said, I understood on this day why my mom did not let us go over people's houses.
There's a lot of stories about that, honestly, but there is one where my roommate was talking to some guy, and we might be talking about that one. And the guy basically is pansexual. And he was explaining that the reason why he was pansexual is because from the ages of 9 to 12, he got molested by his own family members and by other people.
Yeah, it was that.
Yeah, and then, like, I always knew, like, I didn't want my kids to go over to people's houses. But especially that, it was just, like that was just really sad. And mind you, like, this, not only was he pansexual, this guy he was a diagnosed as a psychopath, as he has multiple personality disorders. He has 12 different personalities. And mind you, at first I just thought he was saying it, but like it was actually scary. Like, it was like he was literally on the phone. I don't want to say the guy's name, but
right.
He was on the phone and his personality just switched, and it was like, oh, you must be so-and-so's girlfriend because that's what he calls you on his phone. Like, literally the same guy, like, talking, but it was a completely different person.
That's demons.
Literally. So it was just like, what?
But to see that, like, no, this is real life.
Yeah, and then I guess he clicked back to his actual person, and then he was just continuing the conversation like nothing happened, as in his actual self. And then my roommate's like, what just happened? And he's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, your other personality must have just came out. And he's like, oh, man, because he can't control it. And I guess he doesn't remember when that happens.
And, you know, when people are sexually molested, you know, so many different demonic spirits enter and things like that. So we don't know what all was done with that baby.
Yeah.
For him to be dealing with all of that.
Yeah.
But I remember you were like, I understood today why, because they were not happy with us with certain decisions.
Oh yeah, no,
they were always
definitely not
upset with us.
Yeah, and I will say, like, of course, like with anybody, when you're a parent, you're going to do certain things that are different than what your parents did, and that's going to be me. But there were a lot of decisions, like when I was a kid, and I was like, why can't I just stay the night at my friend's house? Like, I just didn't understand. But I really, like, it's just like, no, like, I'm really not letting my kids stay over anyone else's house. Like, they can come to my house, but you can't go to theirs.
Yes.
And it was just like hearing about that often, because that wasn't the only time. I heard that about, like, with a lot of other kids. So it's like when you
and that's the norm. The sucky thing is that's the norm for a lot of people. There are more people that have been molested than not.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It's sad. It's really sad. And a lot of people who are part of the community, I realize that a lot of those kids have been molested as kids, and it's really sad.
Yeah, I just want to encourage the parents that are dealing with your children that don't understand why you say no, and they're upset with you and you want to bend, but you're like, I know what's best. Like, it's just encouragement. Like, this season will pass and they'll get to the age where, because I will always tell them, you'll understand when you're older. You'll understand when you get older. And they hate that answer. And it's hard because we can't explain it to where they understand, because they just won't get it. They're too immature to understand at that age. But as they get older, as they go to college, as they experience life through experiences, sometimes is when, like, it'll click, like, oh, I get it now. Yeah. And
especially in college, I realized how important parents are. Like, I mean, I've always loved my parents, but I've never actually realized how important it is to have a parent in your home until my roommate, who's a foster kid. And when I saw everything that she did, and just like when she would change her personality just to be with certain people, or she would do things just for the what is it called?
Attention, affirmation.
Affirmation, the acceptance of other people. It just made me, like, think, like, oh, she doesn't have parents, so she had no one to tell her, like, this is who you are as a girl, as a woman. Don't be okay with this. Be okay with this. So it was like her not having that, and I'm just seeing like everything that she does. It's just like, wow, like parents really, really, really are important for your life. So if you are if you're in high school or you're a college student watching this, like just know, like even if your parents are doing stuff that annoys you, or that you're just like, why are they doing this? Like understand that they are important in your life, and you will learn something from them.
It's from a place of love.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It took me a long time to learn that. A very long time to learn that.
Actually, Maya, you're what's it called? Ahead of the curve.
Really?
You are, because some people don't get it until years later, and you're just 19, and you're like, oh. So I'm happy that she had this first year experience.
Child, this first year was a lot. This first year's a lot.
Texan.